boring equals healthy. Hi babes, welcome and or welcome back to my channel. My name is Shamika. If you are new here and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Make sure you click that subscribe button, join the family. We would love to have you over here. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 8 things that you should let go of in 2025 to live a happier life. So if you want to hear my 8 tips, then just keep on watching. So the first tip that I have for you is to refrain from comparing yourself to others. The reality is that there is always going to be a better situation or a better circumstance that you can compare your life to. But what good does that do? You comparing yourself to another situation isn't going to change anything. All it's going to change is how you feel about your current situation. And not in a good way. More than likely, 9 times out of 10, it's going to make you feel worse than how you already feel about your situation. So why do that to yourself? Why put yourself through that unnecessary pain when you can look around and see all the beautiful things that you have and bask in the joy of what God has blessed you with and blessed your life with? There's no sense in looking around and comparing yourself to other situations because that's not going to change anything anyway. Focus on the good and be happy and grateful for the things that you do have. The next thing that we need to let go of, ladies, is the people pleasing. We have to stop being people pleasers because the reality of being a people pleaser is that it's a disservice and a dishonesty within yourself. Most people pleasers that I know will tell you yes, but in their head they're thinking, hell no, you got me up, you know? And so when you're saying yes, but your mind is telling you no, that is a dishonesty within yourself. And when you're being dishonest with yourself, you're not being genuine and showing up in the world as you truly are. In 2025, we need to stay true to ourselves and stay true to our boundaries because the reality of the situation is the only people who are going to be upset about you having boundaries are those who benefited from when you didn't have any. The next thing that we are letting go of in 2025, ladies, and that is regret. I see this a lot, especially as I've begun to get a little bit older and hang around people who are a bit older as well. A lot of people tend to focus on the past and think about the things they could have did, should have did, and would have did. And what I've realized is that you cannot live in a perpetual state of feeling regret about the opportunities that you didn't take advantage of or the things that you missed out on. You have to take those things as a lesson learned, apply them, and move forward in life. Because if you keep looking back at what happened then and what didn't happen then and what could have and should have and would have happened then, you're going to miss out on the beauty that is happening now. Don't worry about the past. You can't change it. All you can do is focus on the future and the present day and focus on how you can make the future better than the past was. The next thing that we need to let go of in 2025, ladies, are toxic relationships. Now, we've probably all had our fair share of toxic relationships, whether that be romantic or platonic, because friendships can be toxic as well. And so we need to let this go in 2025 because toxic relationships are anxiety inducing. And that's because you're always waiting on the other shoe to drop. You know it's going to be something coming around that corner. And so you always kind of on edge and trying to prepare yourself for it. We're cutting all of that out in 2025. Toxic relationships. I saw this quote on social media the other day. I don't remember what platform, but it said that toxic relationships are a cycle of bad days with good moments. And that is not what you want. You want to be in healthy relationships where you have good days with bad moments. And so when you're in those toxic relationships, those good moments can feel like everything. They can be the high that you need. They can be the endorphins and the everything. But overall, when you look back on the relationship, you'll see that it did way more harm than it did good. So we're letting the toxicity go, we're letting the stress go, and we're letting all of that baggage out the door, and we're leaving it in 2024. We're focused on the healthy relationships, the relationships that make us feel good, and ultimately the secret to it is we're focused on the boring relationships because boring equals healthy. That's the reality of the situation. The next thing that we are leaving behind in 2024, ladies, is the need for control. Now, I am talking to myself with this one, and I don't know if it's just something about being the oldest daughter, but I feel like I always have to be in control of everything, even the things that I know I cannot change. And that right there is insanity. I am learning to let go and let God. If something is out of my control, I'm not going to spend my time worrying about it or stressing over it. Yes, it's going to be natural and normal for me to feel a way, and I'm going to take the time to feel whatever way it is I feel, but I'm not going to sit and soak in the feelings that I have about something that I cannot change anyway. I'm going to accept whatever outcome it is and keep it pushing. The next thing that we need to leave behind in 2024, ladies, is fear of change or failure. The reality is change is the only constant that we have in this life. And if you're willing to change, then you should be willing to fail, because that is inevitable as well. I find that the most beautiful things for me in my life, the most beautiful moments and the most beautiful transformations that I've experienced have been on the other side of change or failure. I personally think that failure is a part of the journey, and it's what makes the journey so much more beautiful and colorful. Once you step outside of your comfort zone, you'll begin to realize how resilient and strong and capable you actually are. I believe that we were all put on this earth to do extraordinary things. So step out of your own way and embrace the possibility of failure and change. The next thing that we're leaving in 2024 is very similar to regret, but it's guilt. And with guilt, we're leaving that in 2024 because when you operate from a space of feeling guilty, you ultimately imprison yourself. Guilt should not be a lingering feeling. It's natural to feel guilty here and there, but it should not be something that is a constant state of being within you. You should not become a slave to the feeling of guilt. At some point, you have to forgive yourself, apologize, accept the lesson or consequences of your actions, and move forward. Use whatever guilt it is that you're feeling or whatever you're having trouble with as an opportunity to grow and move forward, because at the end of the day, you can't change the past anyway. The last tip that I have for you all is another one that really speaks to me, and that is stop trying to do it all alone. Again, I don't know if it's something about being the oldest daughter, but I've always wanted to do it all by myself, not only because I felt like I had to, but also because it was sort of my facade. I had to look like I had it all together. I didn't want to ask people for help because then that let them know that it wasn't all together and I wasn't as perfect as I seemed. But what I realized is that a lot of times I also felt like I didn't get offered as much help, and that's because of the facade I was putting on. So once I started to let that facade fall down and ask for help and let people know that I needed their help, I realized that people were more willing to extend themselves and show up for me and even go out of their way for me. But I guess in the past, to a certain degree, they didn't know how they can help me because of the facade that I put up, that I had it all together and I could do it all on my own. You can't do it all on your own. We are social beings as human, and we are here to help each other. You should feel as though we can reach out to others for help, especially if you are such a help to those around you. So start to ask those around you for help and watch and see how they show up for you and show you that you do not have to carry the burden of everything and everybody on your own. You have people in your life, I'm sure, who love you and want to be there for you. They just don't know how. Let them know how they can be there for you. Let them know how they can show up for you, and watch and see how much lighter and happier you feel. So that is all that I have for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If I missed anything, ladies, please leave it down below in the comment section, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye-bye.